Welcome to the guide for how to clamp the Big Days Chase Rack system to your truck. This is going to be the video for the standard clamp mount, which is good for Ford trucks, Chevy trucks, Ram and Dodge trucks, as well as pretty much any truck with a standard bed clamp mount. This means the truck has a bed rail that you can clamp your mount to. This will not work for Toyotas or Jeep Gladiators with a deck rail kit.
Perfect, so we're gonna put this rack on the Ford Raptor.
So once the rack is set up and those top bolts are loose, go ahead and pick it up, slide it along your bed rails. Having two people is definitely best for this, but not absolutely necessary. Okay, so with this, you wanna make sure that you have about a ½ inch to an inch of overhang. Essentially, as you look down these squares, you wanna be able to see air beneath them. Now, when lining it up with the front of your cab, a couple of quick things to note here. You want this to be about an inch to an inch and a half away from the actual cab itself. This allows for your bed to flex because your truck will actually flex a little bit as you drive. So this allows for that flex to happen, as well as any clearance issues up top. If you have a 2024 F250 or F350 specifically, you'll want to make this about a 3 to 4 inch gap. Those models specifically have a brake light that sticks out that the rack might interfere with. So you do want to scoot that back just a little bit.
In the hardware kit, you'll have 4 3.5 inch carriage bolts and then 4 2-inch carriage bolts. The 2-inch ones will be used for bolting directly into the bed rail, which will be in a separate video. You'll also have 4 of the U-clamps, 4 washers that will be used to bolt the rack to the truck. So to install these, you're gonna need a 13 mil deep socket or a 13 mil crescent wrench, either will work. So take the U-clamp with the thick side on the outside of the bed, goes up like this. Carriage bolt goes from the top bottom and through the hole in the bottom of the U-clamp, then the washer, and then the nut on the bottom. So it should be all loose when you first put it on. It looks something like that.
All right, you'll notice there are actually several holes on here. Let me explain the 3 different sets of holes and what they're for. So you'll see that back here there's 4 holes, and up here there's these 3 holes that are the closest to me right now. Back here, the 4 holes have 2 purposes. One is to allow for you to have a good clamping position no matter what kind of things you have interfering underneath the bed rail, whether you have little plastic clips or whether you have other things underneath there. So you can pick and choose between those 4 holes. The other reason between the 4 holes here is if you have a truck with a different bed length or things like that, this allows you to position your lower bar, if you choose to use the lower bar, in a way that optimizes your bed space.
All right, so you'll want to make sure that the upper bar is centered between the risers, so it's not more on one side or the other. And once the rack is also centered where the holes are where you want them to be, you're going to come right under here and make sure that all of the bolts attaching the upper bar to the riser are tight, all 6 of them on each side. And then once these are tight up here, you'll go ahead and tighten the carriage bolts and clamps. 1 here, here, and 2 back there. After you snug it up with the impact or a drill, make sure you grab a crescent and just make sure it's all the way tight.
Now, if you got our lower bar, you want to go ahead and put that on. At this point, if you haven't set that up yet, go ahead and watch our lower bar video, and that will show you how to do the lower bar here. And that's how you install the Big Days Chase Rack on a truck with a standard bed clamp style. Now, for questions on how to install our mounts and the different accessories, watch the videos for those.